Hi and welcome back. You are listening and watching the TVC podcast with me, Simone Pennant from the TV Collective. We're an online resource that supports people of colour working in the content industries both here in the UK and across the globe. This week's episode is the final in the series. So of course, we're going out with a bang. This week, we look to the future. Not only how do we survive the current TV landscape, but also how do we thrive?
You find what's already appealed to people en masse, and you take the essence of that and then you make it your own.
We'll also be checking in with our free creators to see how they plan to supersize their projects after their final coaching session.
I was playing around with something called Opus this week. They take in your long form and create them into shorts.
We're taking our creators inside the Broadcast Digital Awards so they can experience firsthand what happens when the biggest industry names come together and celebrate innovation. This is the TV Collective podcast, season 3, The Making of the Brand. Let's get into it. Before we get into it, what do you reckon the content landscape will look like in the next 5 to 10 years? And what is exciting you right now the most?
Hi, I'm Rima. I'm a producer in Kids TV. I think that over the next 5 to 10 years, the TV and content landscape will keep shifting pretty dramatically. Traditional broadcasters are already commissioning less just because budgets are getting tighter and they're losing eyeballs to online and streamers. I think they'll continue to commission the big hitters across all the genre, but everything below that level will start to see maybe fall away. And so we might continue to lose medium-sized indies, which would be a real shame. That being said, though, we will see the emergence of indies who are doing really well online and setting up their own companies, as is already the case. So that's exciting.
If you think about it right now, the UK alone, about 25% of the population now identifies as content creators. That's a massive segment of the UK population. Yes. And so what's interesting about that stat is that you've gone from very traditional media of having talent who are coming through the ranks with, young kids television programming. A lot of people started their career there, but there isn't those opportunities anymore. And actually digital is allowing you to do that. And so there's opportunity, but then that means there's also further opportunity for diverse voices to get into that space if they're not already shaping it.
If you look at the height of the last era, it was controlled by a very small collection of human beings who put very similar content on over and over. And, marginalized audiences were either called minority audiences or, minor demographics, and then relegated to things, channels that are dedicated to them. In this era, there's a ton of people who are doing quite well based on the depth of passion of their community, not the size of it. And what that means for people who have been traditionally marginalized in mainstream media is you can build a business around whatever community you have.
In this, our last coaching session with James Loveridge from Little Dot Studios, he helps our creatives turn everything they've learned into practical steps to elevate their content. Can you believe it's been 6 weeks already? This is our last session with James. Shōgun, just kind of going back to looking at reviewing the homework, I know that James had asked you to look at YouTubers and social media influencers and the way they monetize. Have you had a chance to do that?
So we've been looking at a gentleman called Kai Cenat, who's recently done a streamer university where he gets like streamers that have never really streamed before, just started, and sort of bring them all on campus. So we've been looking at that and seeing how best he kind of like brings out different forms of content, what they're clipping up on Instagrams and TikTok.
Like Kai Cenat and those streamers are absolutely taking it by storm. And I think they are the new wave of kind of digital first creators. I think it's really interesting how much it's evolved in just the 10 years that I've been operating on the platform, and how historically it was kind of video based in terms of like video uploads and then kind of building the audience through building up a catalogue of stuff. But I think the live streaming definitely seems to be driving that engagement and that kind of community aspect of it so much more now than it ever did. And I think it's mainly because of the low barrier to entry to kind of get people doing it. But the Kai Cenat streams are not low budget. They're not low production. He has a set room, but often like it will be a fake version of that room that he can burn down, or he can do, or it's a fake version that's actually the back of a truck. He can only afford those higher production values because he has organically grown it from the ground up and now has such a sizable following.
That's brilliant. Farah, how are you getting on with your your free channel and uploading content?
I was playing around with something called Opus this week. So that just takes in, you could do a free trial and they take in your long form and create them into shorts. And I think that's a really good, easy way to just kind of go, like, I haven't got any time. Let's just go and do that.
Yeah, I think using tools like Opus, and there are quite a few of those kind of smart editing tools that can kind of convert horizontal video into short form vertical and give you subtitles and dynamic text. I think if you're short on time, resource cost, these are really useful tools, but all the next generation of creators are going to be AI native. They're going to know exactly how to utilize tools that can produce quicker, generative AI to create assets, all of that kind of stuff. So as much as there is a trepidation from traditional production about this tool, you need to understand it, you need to utilize it. And I think Opus is a fantastic example of it gives you an additional editor, it gives you an additional team member to help you do that. Is it perfect? No. Will it get better? Definitely. But I think in the instance of you either have an imperfect version of it or no version at all, take the imperfect version, see how you can improve upon it.
Farah, also in regards of the kind of looking at creators that you're inspired by that are monetizing, did you get a chance to do that? And who were some of the people that you looked at?
TopJaw, they're the UK's sort of foodie kind of people. They started about, I think, 2015. It's only been the last sort of 3 or 4 years. They've pivoted from long form to short form, and that's what's really helping them.
So I know TopJaw really well, and I think that Jesse, the guy in front of camera, is obsessed. Like he's lives, breathes, loves the food. So you can sense the enthusiasm through it, and I think that is what people kind of connect to, and that's why. Interestingly, from their monetization perspective, I know that they are very careful about how they monetize because it doesn't want to undermine the authenticity of that and look like they're selling out in any regard. I think the popularity has been built out of just their sheer passion for the subject matter.
Shall I pay?
There's a lady called Megan Ashley, and it's niche Christian content. But in the last 3 years, I've got some stats. She's got 343,000 subscribers. 235 videos and over 20 million views, which I think is crazy for 3 years work. And in terms of like her monetization strategy, obviously you've got the breakdown of how much she's making per video and the views and stuff like that. Other ways I think she's making streams of income is obviously product placement. She'll do a read basically for different products that she uses. She's also got merchandise.
To build that level of following and that number of views is really quite special. And I think the point you make about how aesthetically organized it is and it feels intentional, I think that's really smart, because I think historically a lot of creators were just the monetization or the brand and all of that came second and they didn't really think about it. But if you're thinking about, okay, one day I want this to be bigger than it is and I want it to be something kind of meaningful in a brand and stuff like that, a community, having that mindset early doors so you can lay it out that, you know, this is how I want it structured, I think is great, because it puts you in the best kind of foot forward. So hopefully when your first video pops and goes viral, that audience that comes into a well-structured environment.
Yeah, exactly. She knows how to catch people once they've started to engage with the content. That's something I really want to do myself.
Kind of feels like you guys are not just creating content, you're creating a brand essentially. Is that, James, that's what these new content creators are doing, right?
The brandification of individuals is part of social media. Everyone's Instagram's curated. They're creating an image of themselves that is a exaggerated or elevated version. Like that is exactly what like anybody does that broadcast stuff on social media. But I think if you're trying to build a connection and build a community and build engagement, you need to clearly define who you are, what it is they're buying into, what your interests and passions and what the hook is. I think that's really kind of key.
What's your final word for us? We're all sitting at home, we want to make content, we're all frustrated, we've got stories to tell, TV's not really happening, we don't know what to do. What would you say to us, James?
think the respect and reverence people give to people that can make it work on YouTube is greater, because now it's no longer, oh, that's just a dog and cat video kind of silly website. It's a home of TV. It's a streaming platform that competes with Netflix, that competes with Prime Video, that competes with Disney Plus, all of those. But also linear broadcast is becoming less and less relevant. So actually, if you can cut it in TV and you can demonstrate it, I think the weight that is given to that as a skill is much greater now than it's ever been. And I think that people understand the skill and talent that goes into being an effective creator, producer, and self kind of publisher. So I think it's a really exciting time to kind of embrace it as a platform and kind of make the most of it as you can.
Definitely. Just do it. As we wrap, we always love a party. And it's a chance for us to remind our creatives not only the impact that it can make, but just the success that is also waiting for them. So to mark the end of our journey, we took our creators to the hottest ticket in town for anybody who's in the digital space. The Broadcast Digital Awards, where they had a night of glitz and glams alongside some of the biggest digital creators in the industry.
Very excited.
I'm excited about how amazing Shōgun looks.
Thank you. I had to cut off the beard because it was getting a bit unprofessional.
So we are here at the Digital Broadcast Awards and kind of come to the end of the process. I mean, how has it been for you? It's been quite a journey, epic 6 weeks that we've had. Farah, for you, kind of what is the biggest takeaway that you've had from this process?
My biggest takeaway was that I had to be accountable. I had to do stuff, get it done, publish it. It's been challenging, but also having this network of people has been the most valuable thing, I think. And we've just had a little brainstorm tonight. We've been talking about collaborations.
Yeah.
I also realised that my networking skills have gone up there. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, I think you always think you can't do it and you want to perfect it, and actually just press go.
For you, what's it been like?
It's been really lovely having like people cheer you on, like Farah was saying, and just like encourage you to keep going and like make that content. And again, accountability, I definitely second that. Just having people around you to say, okay, what have you done this week? What have you done this, today? And that's been really great. Yeah.
Similar to the guys, which is just like take accountability and just get up and do it, man. Like forget waiting for it to be perfect or the time when you think in your mind is the right time. I feel like any time is the right time. It's just the time to get up and be yourself and go do it.
Thank you for being part of this, man. And yeah, your experience and your learnings and your journey, we hope inspires others. There's so much content out there for you to watch, from dramas to docs to reality TV. So we're here to shine a spotlight on some of the creators driving it and share a few unmissable programs that you should be watching.
I'm Sebastian White, the director of Union Black, which is part of ITV's Fresh Cut series. Union Black explores Black British identity and is a snapshot of Black British culture, featuring the likes of Jazzy B, Afro Hirsch, Richard Blackwood and many more. It's available on ITVX and ITV YouTube, and I really hope you enjoy.
Hello, my name's Adnan Ahmed and I'm a documentary director. On my watch list this week is a series called Shōgun, currently on Disney Plus. It's a sweeping historical drama set in 1600s Japan, and it's utterly gripping. It's full of political intrigue, warrior clans, and shifting alliances. What really stands out about this series is it's a very diverse series by its very nature. It's led by a Japanese cast, mainly, and there are Japanese directors and also a range of other directors from a huge, diverse range of backgrounds, which bring a real authenticity and different viewpoints to the story. So if you want prestige drama that is smart and visually stunning and emotionally deep, I highly recommend Shōgun.
My name is Christabel the Creatress. I am the writer, producer, director and creator of Wild Nights in Paradise. The show is based on 3 Black British, young, beautiful ladies who decide to take a trip to Ghana during Ghana's biggest cultural event, Dirty December. The main theme of the reality drama series is friendship and sisterhood. We decided to launch on 7+ streaming as an original.
We kicked off the season with Jordan, one of the creative forces behind YouTube's sensation, The Sidemen. He's now back for a full circle moment, sharing everything every creator needs to know if they want a long, sustainable career and what they need to know before they hit that upload button.
Firstly, if it's new, the biggest thing you have to focus on is packaging and research. So like you need to spend a lot of time researching in depth other content that's similar to the content you want to be making that's overperformed, and you want to copy that framing, packaging and approach and make it your own. So like that's like the whole game. It's like what we call outlier research, right? And there's whole teams of people that are just studying on YouTube and just keep searching what are videos on channels that overperform within the niche you're trying to work in, and how do you use that as a basis to build content from. If you're not doing that, you're not going to be able to grow early doors. The other thing I would say is packaging is so important. Thumbnails, have a really great thumbnail designer. Like find on Twitter, get an army of suppliers, because YouTube is a game of like supply chain, right? You need thumbnail designers, editors, short form, etc. So like map obviously your budget and how much you want to spend on all of that, unless you want to do it all yourself. If you want to do it yourself, that's fine. But find an army or like a kind of a group of people to help, or to at least be a reference point. And Twitter is the best place for that. That's where they all are, right? So I would always say one easy way of doing that is go on my Twitter and just go on anyone I'm following and just look through them and find the thumbnail designers shop, because I have a lot of good people who I follow there. I use it as a talent bank more than anything else these days. Like you have to get consistency, and so that means you have to find a production structure that works around your schedule, around your life, that allows you to be really consistent. Because that if you can't be consistent, there's no point. You, like, live by the data. You find what's already appealed to people en masse, and you take the essence of that and then you make it your own. Especially when you're starting out, because at the very beginning, your whole job is to get people to click on what you do. YouTube's not rocket science, but it's way easier said than done, because it's actually really hard to make good content, and that's practice. So you need to just get going, I'd say.
Being seen really matters. For far too often, those who are driving and making the content don't often get the recognition. And that's particularly true for those of global majority communities. So we wanted to create a space where we can say we see you. Not only do we see you, we value you. And we wanted to let you know why you could still smell the flowers. We couldn't end without giving flowers to somebody who's been with us every step of the way. We want to give flowers this week to James Loveridge from Little Dot Studios. His sharing of insights, his generosity with his time has ensured that not only our creators, but us as the audience and us as the community are able to up our content game. So this week, flowers go to you, James. Thanks so much.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so kind.
We just wanted to say thank you.
Oh,
you were just amazing. So we were able to officially give you your flowers.
Brightened up my day, that's amazing.
There is nothing better than a little bit of free money or opportunities that help you elevate your career. So this week we're sharing free money from the Film and National Television School, who have come up with a fantastic innovation to help you boost your career. Amazon Prime and the NFTS have partners to support the reskilling and upskilling of TV freelancers across all regions, roles, departments, and genres. They are offering free courses in TV adjacent industries, including podcasting, digital, AI, gaming, branded, social media, project management, and a lot more. The online program is aimed at TV freelancers with 3 credits or more. More details can be found on the link below. A huge thank you to the Digital Broadcast Awards and everybody who took part in this series. This podcast is supported by the Film and TV Charity and the Comic Relief's Pop Fund. The truth is, building a creative career has never been tougher or more possible. The old rules are breaking, new platforms rising overnight, and audience have more choice than ever before. But that means that there's space, real space, for fresh voices, bold stories, but more importantly, global majority talent that refuses to play small. If this season has shown anything, It's shown that success isn't luck. It's stamina, it's learning, pivoting, showing up when no one's watching it and doing it again tomorrow. The state of TV is changing. It's streaming, it's social, it's global, and the next wave of game changers won't wait to be invited in. They'll build their own doors. So, wherever you are on your journey, pick up your camera or your phone like we did and open your laptop, finish that bloody project, post a clip, because the industry isn't a distant place anymore. The industry is you. And the only time that really matters is now. Until next time, with love.